Hi, and welcome to Make Me Like It, a web series about food and nostalgia. I'm Corrine Collins. I'm a university professor and a home baker, and I'm here to revisit some of the food I ate in childhood that I disliked and to see if I can make myself like it as an adult. When we talk about the food we ate as kids, it's usually through a sense of nostalgia. We talk about the things that we liked, the things that we miss, but what if we didn't like all of the food that we ate as kids? And what if some of the things that we didn't like are things that are considered to be culturally significant or traditional? I grew up in a British Jamaican household, and I didn't like a lot of the things that I felt like I should like, and I'm here to revisit some of the worst things, the things that I hate the most, to see if I can make myself like them now. Let's see how it goes. Today we're going to be talking about canned corned beef. I had never tried any other kind of corned beef until I came to the United States. In England, where I grew up, all of the corned beef was in a can. My dad used to make it for dinner for me. He would combine it with mashed potatoes and just fry it up all together. It didn't have much flavor, and I absolutely hated the taste of the corned beef itself. I didn't try the Jamaican version of corned beef, bully beef, until I was in my 20s. That one has more spices in it. It has a lot of the flavors that I like, but I still really didn't like it because I just don't like the taste of the meat. Corned beef is deeply impacted by British colonialism. It's called corned beef because of the process of preserving the beef through salting. And a lot of the world's corned beef was produced in Ireland for export to places like the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, it was used to feed colonial populations and also enslaved populations. But then advancements in canning technology enabled corned beef to be canned and come in the square, stackable shapes that you probably know it as. And this became a staple food for the British military and also the US military, and was spread across the world through colonialism. My version of corned beef is going to play on multiple different dishes. The Jamaican tradition of bully beef, so incorporating more spices and more flavorings, but I'm also going to play on another British dish I hated called bubble and squeak, but it's basically fried leftovers. You take mashed potato, combine it with whatever meat or veg you had left over from dinner the night before, and fry it up. I'm going to combine all of those things to make a corned beef croquette. Let's see how it turns out. So the first thing that I'm gonna do to make these corned beef croquettes is saute some onion and some peppers, a little bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of paprika's going in. The smells that I've got going on here, I associate more with the Jamaican version of corned beef because we have spices in it. So it's about ready to go. Everything looks nice and cooked. So next I'm gonna leave this to cool a little bit so that I can handle it. And then I'm gonna mix it with mashed potato, corned beef, and I'm gonna roll it into balls to make our croquettes. So far it smells really good. Let's just hope that the corned beef doesn't ruin it. So our onion, pepper, scallion, garlic mix is cooled down. So now I'm just gonna add it to mashed potatoes. These are old mashed potatoes, so that they're cold, they're kind of dry. That's what I want because if there's too much moisture in there, it's gonna affect the frying. And then obviously this is also based on a leftovers meal. So the idea is that we're working with things that are already cooked and we're just combining them to make them into something else. So I'm just gonna put the onion pepper mixture in here, give it a stir. Next, I'm gonna add this canned corned beef. I'm just sort of mashing things down a little bit to bring it together. The last thing I'm gonna add in is just the egg. I just want the egg to hold everything together so it doesn't get super crumbly. And then I'm gonna roll them into balls and get them ready for frying. This looks pretty good. Now I'm just gonna get my hands in there and make these balls. So I'm not gonna flatten the balls down right now because I'm gonna flatten them when I dip them in flour and egg and breadcrumbs. So I'm just really just portioning at this point. So the next step, I'm going to bread and fry the croquettes. I'm just gonna depress them a little bit into sort of a patty shape, dip them in the flour just to get them quickly coated. A little dip in the egg so that the breadcrumbs will stick to the outside, and then into the breadcrumbs. And then straight into the pan. So the oil's quite hot. They don't take too long to fry, so I'm just gonna gently flip this over, but I'm looking for a really nice brown on the outside. Just gonna flip it one more time. It's almost there. You can see the browning around the edge, but I want it to be more brown in the middle. This is looking pretty good. So we can see that there's crispy all around the outside. It's pretty nice and brown. So I'm just gonna put it here to drain. And I'm putting it on the rack because whenever I set things on paper towels, it starts to absorb the moisture. The oil just sort of sits around. And I really, really want crispiness here. So I'm gonna do the next one now that the first one is out of the oil. Same thing, make it into a patty shape, put it in the flour, then into the egg, and then into the breadcrumbs. And then straight into the oil again. And that's probably gonna take a couple more minutes just to fry up. So the challenge was to take something that I hate, in this case canned corned beef, and turn it into something that I like. So I made corned beef croquettes based on the flavors of Jamaican bully beef and bubble and squeak. So now I just have to taste it and see if I made myself like it or not. It's actually okay. There's a lot of crunchiness from the breadcrumbs. You can see that there are chunks of corned beef in there. I really like the peppers and the seasoning. It's definitely more flavorful than what I was given to eat as a kid. I actually don't mind it at all. I actually quite like it. I might actually take another bite. So I guess I succeeded. I made myself like it. Thanks so much for watching Make Me Like It. I'll see you next time where I try and remake rock cakes, a cake that has that name for a good reason.